obviously they're not a very good team performance on Saturday night, and working hard to get all those areas corrected that we need to. At the midpoint in the season, we have an opportunity to put ourselves in position, if we'll do the right things throughout the week, to play better on Saturday, and that's our ultimate goal. We've got to carry over what we're doing throughout the week in practice to put ourselves in position to play better, and ultimately you play better and you win games, and that's what we're setting out to do. We sit through the first 6 games, and I'd like to be sitting here 6-0, but we're not, and just dealing with facts and reality, and working to improve ourselves in every area. I think there's been times defensively, especially last week, that we looked like a pretty good defensive football unit. And there were times throughout the course of the first 6 weeks that we looked like a really good offensive group. And we've got to do it together consistently in order for us to have a chance to win a game. Our margin for error is very slim, and we've got to have things in our favor, from turnover margin to the hidden yardage and special teams, to the penalty game, and then offensively, defensively, we've got to play well enough together to win a game. So excited about having a chance to play at home. Tremendous challenge for us with Middle Tennessee coming in. Got a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Stockstill. I knew him from my time at Memphis, and really admire the job he's done there, the way he's recruited, the attitude that they play with, their tempo, their urgency, everything about the things that they do, I admire, and so it'll be a great challenge for us. We'll have to prepare really well and play really well to have a chance. And talk to our team on Sunday night about the opportunity that we have moving forward with 6 games left. We need to take them one at a time. We need to focus on us getting better each week and playing, as I stated earlier, consistently. If we do that and continue to have guys make grounds in every area, then we'll end up where this team will take us at the end of the year. We'll end up right where we need to be. And there are some things that you look at the end of the game on Saturday night. You walk off the field, and you never want to give away three touchdowns. Give credit to Florida. You never want to give away 3 touchdowns when your defense isn't on the field. If we do that, we're not going to win. That's a very elementary statement, I know, but the kick game there at the end, the onside kick was executed poorly, and then the 2 pick sixes that put you behind really doesn't give us a chance to be successful. So we're excited about moving on, and have a great amount of respect for the team coming in here, and then for us to have a chance to play at home, which means a lot to a whole bunch of people that were here before us with homecoming. Another game in our stadium. We're anxious to get back out there. So I'll open up for questions.
So you were a linebacker in college. What do you see in Cale Garrett, and what impressed you so much in getting this last week?
Cale has done things since he was an early enrollee. Came here in January, so we went through our winter conditioning program, went through spring ball. Has a decent knowledge base on the defense for a freshman, and really has continued to improve each week. He's played on every kicking group that there is throughout the course of the season, and kept getting more reps defensively. And we thought that moving Mike Shear over to the other spot would give us an advantage there that we were needing. And then Cale was the best guy at the Mike position. He continues to and played pretty well the other night. He's going to have a really good career. He's got a high football IQ and enjoys the game of football, and he's a great competitor.
When you look back at the film, specifically on interceptions, but also just in general the passing game, what was the issue?
I think on the interceptions, and I've said it a number of times, we've got to have 10 guys around the quarterback playing really well for the quarterback to have a chance. And one of them was a bad read by Drew, threw it into a cover 2 corner. He read it wrong. And then the other one, the receiver, his route depth wasn't where it needed to be. So a combination when you have those two things and you're throwing on time with a 3-step or 5-step drop, and you know when your back foot hits the ground, the ball's coming out, and the receiver's not there, that obviously affects the result in the play. So overall, schematically in our passing game the other night, Florida did a great job on taking away what we thought we could have some advantages in. They played better than we did. They executed better than we did. And we've got to find a way to get our guys open. And then once we get in position and the ball's delivered, in a passing offense, you got to be able to play catch. And we didn't do that very well the other night.
I know you said you get to take one game at a time, things like that, but is bowl eligibility in your mind at all?
I absolutely talk about it. I think it's good to have goals. It's important for us to know what is still there and what's still out there. We've got a competitive group that I'm going to, I believe in kind of putting it all out there and, not trying to make it more, I don't want to put too much on them, but they know it. I mean, they read more stuff than I do. They know what's out there and what's not out there. So I'm very much into open conversations and kind of where we're at. We're at 6 games in. We got 6 left, and nothing more than I want is to give our seniors a 7th game, and we're going to work really hard to try to get there.
When you look at this schedule, I mean, is this a stretch where you need to make hay these next 4 games? Because on paper, this is probably the easiest.
Well, if you look at the first 6, we come out of it 2-4. If we come out of the next 6 2-4, we won't get where we want to be. So, we've got to do a great job. And again, I'm challenging our team to don't worry about down the road. Let's look overall big picture where we are. Okay, but now we've got to get back into preparing the way we need to go play our best. And if you're looking forward or looking back, I've learned we're probably not going to be very good. You got to focus on trying. We need to have an unbelievable Tuesday practice, and if we do that, then I know we're moving in the right direction.
There's a lot of good coaches that don't make a bowl, and in year 1 of the tenure end up having a good career, and Coach Pinkel included. How important do you think it is, or is it to make a bowl in the first year of a coaching tenure?
I think it's really important. I mean, I want to win them all, and that's not going to happen this year. I got that one checked off my list of not going to happen. So the bowl game, absolutely, it would mean progress for us. It would mean an opportunity to have 15 practices or however many we can get before that bowl game for the development of our young players. And it's a reward that I want our seniors to have. I want those guys to experience, the thing that in collegiate athletics, you look at being able to provide experiences for your student athletes they're going to carry with them the rest of their life. A bowl game is absolutely one of them, and one that I remember greatly from being in their shoes. So I want that for them, and we've talked about it, and we got a lot of work to do. So that's still out there for us.
Barry, after a game like the other night, how much with Drew do you worry about him just kind of beating himself up and coming back after a game like that?
I don't worry about it. I worry about confidence in whether we win or lose. I worry about that, not having too much confidence or not enough when you get it handed to you like we did. So I think guys that have the inner drive and focus and are competitors, I think they're going to respond a little bit easier and quicker. And I think Drew has some of that to him. I don't think that. I know that. We met earlier today. He's ready to go. He had a really good practice last night, and as our team did, and they're excited to get back on.
What has impressed you about Demarie that got him the first start on Saturday?
Well, he's continuing to improve. I think he's learned over the course of getting some reps and some game reps on how to play the position when you've got to make checks, you've got to be able to block. There's times that the protection changes and you've got to change with that. So his experience has helped, his knowledge and the way that Coach Ford has coached him throughout the process here on getting better each week as you can see that happen. And then also he's understood that he's not going to run away from a lot of guys. He's got to be able to go north and south and get behind his pads and use the physical skill set that he has to become the back that he is right now. And I think he's still, I'm hopeful that he gets a lot better here the next 6 weeks.
Did he run a little more determined on Saturday than we've seen? I mean, he seemed to run over some guys and really play with some power every time.
Oh, I think it's just maybe getting a feel for it, maybe a little more on him understanding East and West is not really going to be his game, he's got to, if he sees a crease, it's okay to get 4 yards. We're okay with that. You know what I mean? In 1st and 10, you get 4. That's okay. You're not all going to take them, 10 to 12. Let's get what we can get, and if it's north and south, get behind your pads and try to go get it.
Same position. Where's Alex Ross at? I mean, I know health-wise, obviously he's been out there, so I assume that's not what's preventing.
It's a little better, Gabe. He's still got a little bit of more in deceleration, a little bit of a hindrance with his ankle. I wouldn't, we had him out the other night on kickoff return. Doesn't have the true top end back yet. I keep thinking it's going to get there. It's going to get there. I thought he looked better, obviously, last week in practice. I think it was really close, really close to the count. So I'm hoping that he's back in the fold a little bit more this week than he was even last.
Back to Damari, how big of a find was it for you guys, especially how late in the process that you got him from Boise State to play?
Well, you look at what he's done so far as a freshman, and I'm going to challenge every guy that we sign here, and I did in last year's class and the 2 weeks we had to work together as a staff, and then moving forward, I want us to go sign guys that are going to play this year. I want them to come in as freshmen and have the attitude that they're going to go play. Now, that doesn't always happen, but if you find a guy, whenever you find him in the recruiting process, you think, because of your current roster, especially at that position, we thought he had a chance to come in, and if he did the things right over the summer, that he would be in position to help us, and he has. He's going to have a really good future here.
What clicked in the running game at Florida? That's a really good run defense, and obviously I know Davis went out in the 3rd quarter, but did you see maybe some positives, or that maybe one thing you guys could hang your hat on?
Well, I think there were some things just at point of attack blocking we did well, and I thought Drew did a good job, and Marvin when he got in there on counting the box and seeing what we had and making some adjustments within the call. So that's got to be. I've talked about over the last couple of weeks. We've got to be able to run the football. We've got to find a way to do that. That's going to relieve some of the things in the pass game, and then hopefully at some point we're going to get them both going at the same time, and that'd be kind of fun.
Do you anticipate, the quarterback situation same going forward, or?
Yeah, I think we've got Marvin did some good things the other night, as everybody got to see. The first drive he was in, I don't think we had a lot of success that drive. But as the game wore on, more later in the game, he did some really good things. And I think with him and continuing to develop both of those guys, we've got to have a good plan going into it on how much that both of them need to, how much can both of them do, and there's a balance there on making sure that we don't ask one or the other to do too much on what they can or can't do. And I think Marvin is continuing to grow in all aspects of the playbook. And I don't ever want to get to the point where Drew can do this and Marvin can't do that, or I don't want to be the run guy and the pass guy. That doesn't really help too much as you're looking on the other side of the ball defensively. We've got to be able to run our playbook.
Now, there was a stretch there where it was just pretty much Drew, except for garbage time. Has that changed at all? Do you want to get Marvin more involved?
No, it'll depend quite a bit on just what we think we can get going into the week, just as we build the offense, or as we do every week, offensively, defensively. We kind of build a plan for the week on what they've shown, the opponent's shown, on where we think we can get an advantage. I'm excited about what Marvin did. I'm excited about the plan moving forward with him helping our football team.
Seen some guys, especially at receiver, go from a ton of snaps to not many, vice versa. Is it just trying to find the right guys, and how much of that is based on just last Tuesday through Friday, and how much stacks up over the year?
It's all, we look at the entire, the total body of work and what guys are doing, and then you look at how they've prepared and practiced from Sunday night till Saturday at kickoff. And I will forever believe that if you practice really, really well, then you're going to have an opportunity to play well on Saturday. And if you don't, then you're probably not going to be able to flip the switch and say, I'm just going to go get mine on Saturday. That doesn't usually work. So we've got a group of guys there. We got to coach them hard. We got to find the right fit in each spot on who can help us on game day. And a lot of that is determined how the week goes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even into Friday.
You guys only had 2 completions beyond the line of scrimmage at Florida. How much of that is something Florida was doing? How much of that is just failures on your guys' part to execute?
I think anytime that you are in that situation, and that stat's been brought up to me a couple times today. So, and you look at it as you're standing on the sideline and know that you're not having any success down the field. I didn't know it was quite 2 until we got in the video that night. There were some things we were doing trying to get in the screen game, that we didn't go as much down the field. Obviously, give credit to Florida; they're pretty good on that side of the ball. And then, we had opportunities to make catches, and we didn't. We didn't play catch very well, and there was some placement of the ball that we didn't have an opportunity to catch them. So that, when you say it out loud, that's a recipe for not very good football. That's what we got.
You mentioned that with the tempo, it fits the personnel of this team, and that maybe future teams that won't fit the personnel. I mean, ideally, is this the way you want to operate things, or do you see yourself?
Well, for this right now, yes, it is. And I think every coach is a teacher, and we've got to find out what we can do with the skill set of our team. And right now, this gives us our best advantage in our opinions.
But why is that? I mean, what?
I don't think if we lined up and got in a huddle situation and tried to break the huddle and go on the line of scrimmage and run power football or play action and throw it down the field, I don't know. I think we gain an advantage if we can get a first down. You gain an advantage on a little bit on the other side trying to catch up. And if they're always sitting there waiting on you to get lined up, and it is a very calm, controlled environment, I think that's an advantage for the defense.
Does that need to, I mean, I know the last 2 games, you guys have gotten the kickoff and the other teams had the ball before 14 minutes. Does that first down have to happen first?
I would like for it to.
I mean, before you go fast.
And we know really when you talk to any tempo teams, the most important thing is you get the first one. And then you don't get it, and defense has got to be ready to go. And then it's their job, and we've talked defensively about it. Doesn't matter if we play 45 snaps or 95. Let's embrace the opportunity to go play ball. And so we've got to be better at getting a first down to get the drive going. No question.
How do you feel like Middle Tennessee's going to throw it all over the place? First of all, is Logan going to be back and available? And second of all, are you pretty happy with the way the pass defense has held up this year?
They are. That's kind of what they do. I recruited their quarterback when I was at Memphis. It's Brent Stockstill, coach's son, and he's an unbelievable talent. He's got such a quick release. Just a great competitor, and you don't see many incomplete passes. He makes a lot of right decisions. So somebody mentioned to me earlier they've attempted more passes than everybody in the country other than 2 teams, I think. So that's kind of what they do. But they've got an explosive guy in the backfield too, their tailback, and so they're going to try to run the ball, and they try to balance it out a little bit. But their skill set, just watching the receivers, they block, they make catches. Schematically, they've got a pretty good feel on what they're doing offensively. We'll have our hands full. Logan will be back. He played or practiced last night. Looked pretty good.
Having recruited Stockstill, help gameplay a little bit?
I wish. I know. I know a lot about the family. I don't know if that'll help us in the game plan, but he's a tremendous competitor. I like the way he plays the game. It'll be fun to follow him after this game's over.
What's the recruiting strategy when you're recruiting a kid whose dad is recruiting him as well? Then
I really recruit the mom. Try to get a divide in there. But I knew, even though the success we had at quarterback at the other place with Paxton, we were hoping he would come in and kind of be the next guy. He was a talented kid, and not too far down the road, really. Just a great family. And you look at, when you're in the coaching profession, you look at guys that have sons that end up, playing a sport, and I admire that, because I know it's, They've done a great job, and they've got a pretty cool relationship.
Hatton came in the season as an established guy, but it seems like Gibson's got a ball. What have you seen from him?
Quietly, JG's had a solid year, and still challenging him to take another step, as we are with Arion. He's playing very, very assignment sound, and his technique has improved greatly through the first 6 weeks. He's doing a nice job, and I'm proud of him taking a step. He's matured, and he's played some pretty good ball.
Barry, last time Middle Tennessee came here, you were a GA, it was your first year college coach. Do you remember anything about the game?
Remember, it was 41-40. We won in overtime. Is that right? Yeah. Did we win in overtime, or did it not go in overtime? Yeah. It was. You know what? It happened in the south end zone, if I remember right. That's the good end zone, right? Yeah, I do. I remember it seemed like it was kind of hot. I don't know. I remember they were explosive on offense, and we did enough to win the game. So we played when I was at Memphis. Always, I respect the job they do, man. They do a really good job.
Coach, shifting gears from non-football talk, your team reaches out in the community with this group called Playing for Hope with the Young Children's Hospital. What is that outreach? How important is it for your players to have that outreach in the community and help keep sports safe like that?
I think it's important that our guys understand, as college athletes, student athletes, that there's so many opportunities that you have during that window of 3 or 4 or 5 years to make a difference in your own life and somebody else's life. And any chance that we get to have an opportunity to be around, especially kids in our community, and make a difference, they can be, as a student athlete, you can be one of the greatest ambassadors for your university that there are. And I think that's important that we embrace that. We put a lot of time requirements on our guys, and for them to reach out and want to do things like that, that makes me proud as a head coach.
Have you worked on any ways to get Josh Augusta involved in the passing game? I mean, I know he not extensively, but have you worked on that wrinkle at all?
Well, with that short yardage or goal line package, there's a whole other group of plays that we rep a lot. So Josh is, he's doing some good things on both sides of the ball, and still the old school in me kind of likes the quarterback under center and the fullback in the backfield. So Josh would like to see it 8 or 9 times a game. So we'll just kind of keep evolving it a little bit. He's athletic enough that he can do some of those things.
What do you think? He had a really nice chase down.
It's unbelievable, wasn't it? We showed the team that, the defense, that there's a screen over to our boundary. We missed the tackle. The tackle got up on our corner, made the block, the ball cut back. Josh was down the line of scrimmage just like we wanted him to do, and wasn't in exact position for it. Knew he couldn't lay out and make the tackle, so he turned upfield, and really it was about 25 yards down the field that Augusta made the tackle. Tremendous mental toughness and individual effort, extra effort to make that play.
Barry, this is the first week that Drew hasn't been allowed to talk to media. What's the rationale there?
I think we had out, he and Marvin, I thought this midway point through the season, really both of them got enough of after the game on Saturday night. I wanted both of them to clear their minds and get prepared for what we needed out of that position moving forward. And I think that both of them have done a great job on everything we've asked them to do, and I know they're going to, through the next 6 weeks here, do a great job. I wanted to take a little bit off of both of them and have them, upstairs with Coach Heupel going through some things to hopefully help us play our best game.
Any more? All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.